Hello everybody! How are we doing today? I hope you guys are all having an awesome day. I am here with my mid-year freakout tag. If you are new here, definitely get down below and click subscribe, and everybody get down there and hit like on this video. I would absolutely love to hear how your guys' year is going in reading and what is your favorite book that you have read so far this year. So get down there and leave me a quick comment and we'll go ahead and get started into the video here. I'm sure you guys have seen a few of these going around. I feel like everybody's starting to do their mid-year tag here, and so I wanted to get in on the action. And there are 13 questions for this tag. I will put a couple of other creators' videos down below. I know peacelovebooksxo did a really good one, Jessica on that channel, and Allie with Mrs.Dunn reads, and I know there's a few others, so I will definitely throw a few links down below if you guys want to watch some more. So I did my best to actually try and make sure I wasn't answering the same books for each of these questions. Some of them may seem a little different than maybe some other videos I've talked in, but you'll get what I mean as I go here. So the first one is, what is the best book that you've read so far in 2020? So for me, I'm actually going to say An Ember in the Ashes. I absolutely loved the first book in this series. I plan on reading the next book next month. And I'm hoping that I will be able to read the third book a couple months after that. I'm trying to space them so I have that anticipation going on. But at the end of the year, the last book in the series is coming out, so I want to be ready for that one. And if you've never heard of the series, it follows a girl who is trying to find her brother who got kidnapped by the higher social class, and we also follow one of the trained elite soldiers in the higher class as well, and how their paths end up actually intertwining to build a better system, basically. Brief synopsis, but super, super good series. I loved it. Definitely recommend. So the next question we have is the best sequel that you've read in 2020. This one got a little tricky. I've definitely started a few series this year, but I couldn't remember if I had read any sequels, so I had to go back and look, and I have only read one sequel this year. I did give it 4 stars and I enjoyed it, and I don't have the physical book of that one, but I do have the third book, which I'm hoping to get to soon. And so I read Arch Enemies, which is the second one in the Renegade series. If you guys aren't familiar with the Renegade series, it is a kind of superhero novel series. They have 2 different factions in the superheroes. One of them kind of rules the world, and the other one did before, but they were kind of pushed down and oppressed, and there's only a few of them left. And then Nova, our main character, infiltrates into the Renegades, which is what they are called, and she's trying to bring them down from the inside. But things get all twisted around because she's starting to realize that maybe they aren't so bad, but she also, you know, has this family with the arch enemies, and so it's a really good series, and I definitely recommend, and I can't wait to get to the last book. Gonna go on the TBR really soon, and we're actually gonna do it because I keep putting on my TBR and I keep getting sidetracked, so it's happening. So the next 2 questions I kind of ended up lumping together because they're kind of similar. So number 3 is new release that has come out this year that I want to read, but I haven't yet. And the 4th one is my most anticipated read that's coming out in the second half of the year. So I just have a few books here that I'm interested in. Some came out recently and some are coming out here really soon. So I actually am going to have a video coming out on a bunch of my anticipated summer reads that are coming out, but here are a few that I am definitely interested in. One is I really want to read Clap When You Land. Earlier in the year I read With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo, and I would love to read more from her, and she came out with Clap When You Land. If you haven't seen the cover art on this book, it is so gorgeous, so you guys should definitely look it up. But I loved her writing, I loved the story, and I'm excited to read something else from her. My understanding is this one is about two teenage girls who their father dies in a plane crash, but they never knew that they were sisters, and kind of they're learning about that and building a relationship together. I also have Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. This is like a haunted house kind of a book. Sounds really intriguing. I also have A Song of Wraith and Ruin. This one's coming out really soon. What Lies Between Us by John Mars. And Beach Read, which is like probably the most blown up book right now on BookTube. Everybody is super loving it. I don't think I've heard anybody that hasn't. So those are a few of the books that I am really looking forward to reading that are coming out here in 2020. So the next question is, what was the biggest disappointment of the year? For me, I really didn't like The Great Alone by Kristin Hannah. I know a lot of people love her books and love The Great Alone, but it just, I don't know. It felt like it was kind of slow, and sometimes I was like dragging to get through it. I did listen to it on audio, so I don't know, maybe if it would have been better if I read it. I just felt like not a lot was happening in a lot of moments, and it was just, maybe it was a little too character driven for me. I don't know. It should have been a good read. I mean, it's set in Alaska, which is always fun, and I don't know. I just didn't love it. I did pick up The Nightingale by Kristin Hannah. I'm a little nervous to read more of her books just because that one was a rough one for me, but I've heard so many people rave about this one, way more than The Great Alone, and I figured I would give it another try. Maybe it was just that particular book that didn't work for me. So the biggest surprise of 2020. For me, this was actually Anna Dressed in Blood. I super enjoyed this book, and I wasn't expecting to enjoy it quite as much as I did. I gave it 5 stars. It is about Anna Dressed in Blood is a ghost, and we have a ghost hunter, and I don't know, it gave me like, have you ever watched Supernatural, the TV show? Huge bits of that kind of a vibe where he's coming to get rid of Anna Dressed in Blood because she keeps killing people, and stuff ensues from there. It's a really good read. I thoroughly enjoyed it, way more than I thought, so that was my biggest surprise of the year. The next question is your favorite new author of the year. This could have been a debut author, or it could just be a new to me author. And so for this one, I went with Taylor Jenkins Reid. I first started reading her this year. I've read 3 of her books already this year. I currently own Daisy Jones and the Six, which is a super popular book right now. And I've also read After I Do and The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is one of my absolute favorites for the year. Super, super love that one. I was bawling through like the last quarter of the book, and that one was really, really good one. So number 8 is your newest fictional crush. I don't get like major crush vibes usually in books, but I went back and looked and to see if I could find like a favorite, and so I went with Theo from The Guy on the Right. I just thought he was super sweet. He was kind of like a band guy, and his self-esteem wasn't the greatest, but he found this girl that he really liked, and they started falling for each other. And I think my favorite part about him was he just like kept her guessing and kept coming up with like fun surprises for dates for them, and he didn't tell her like what kind of band he was in. He just told her to come and check out the football game, and he would tell her, and just like there's just a lot of fun little cutesy things he did. So I really enjoyed his character and just thought it was really sweet. Number 9 is your newest favorite character for the year. This is from a book that I just recently read. I went with Rishi. She is a character in Labyrinth Lost by Zoraida Cordova. We actually in the Owlcrate just got Incendiary by the same author, and I really enjoyed the book that I just read, Labyrinth Lost by her. So I'm excited to get to another one of hers. But Rishi was the best friend of the main character, and she was just super sweet, really positive, upbeat, just a character that you just automatically love. And she's got a little bit of sass, and I don't know, I just am a super positive person, so I like to be around and filled up with positivity. And so when there's a positive person, I'm like, yes, I love you. and I have a hard time sometimes with people and characters who are really negative and down all the time. So really loved Rishi. So this next one I kind of already mentioned, but a book that made me cry this year. I have only had one of those, and that was The Seven Husbands of Evelyn and Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I definitely, the twist at the end had me just crying like crazy. It wouldn't be one of my videos without my darling daughter coming in. She's so cute, but it's hard to film when you have a 4-year-old at home. Oh well, life of a mom. Alright guys, number 11, a book that made you happy. So for this one I picked Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. There were so many moments in this where I just like melted into the pages and I was like, oh my gosh, so sweet. My stomach was just like doing the little butterflies, and I just, I melted into this one, definitely. I read it in one night. I mean, it was beautiful and so sweet, and just, I loved it. And I lied. I definitely cried with that book. I forgot. But I cried more, I think, with The Seven Husbands of Evelyn and Hugo. I think I was too tired by the time I was done reading this one to give it a really good cry. So for number 12, this is the most beautiful book that you have either bought or received this year. I actually picked 3 because I just couldn't help myself. So I just recently got Heartless by Marissa Meyer, and the cover is beautiful, like the black and red, but I especially love without the dust jacket on. Oh my goodness, so pretty. Like, this definitely gives me Alice in Wonderland vibes and the Queen of Hearts, 100%. Like, gorgeous. I also got, I also got the collector's edition of Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, and it's just really beautiful. All the pretty kind of gold going on there. It's just gorgeous. And last, but definitely not least, because I don't know, this possibly could be my favorite out of all of them. I adore this cover. Like, it is gorgeous. With the lungs and then the beautiful flowers and the so pretty. Gorgeous. This one's actually really pretty too. I wish I could show you more, but Elizabeth Acevedo does really good jobs with her covers, and when you take the dust jacket off, they're beautiful underneath on the cover as well. This is a library book, so I don't want to, you know, mess with that and show you guys. And the very last question is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And for me, this one's kind of a weird question because I don't need to read any books. I just really want to, and in my head, maybe I'm like, yeah, you need to read that. But for this one, I put a couple series that I definitely want to continue. I want to continue the Ember in the Ashes series, as I mentioned. I also want to continue the Brooklyn Brujas series, which is the one with Labyrinth Lost. That's the first book. I also want to finish Supernova. As I mentioned, I am almost done with that series, so I would like to finish that one off. I also have a couple NetGalley reads that are coming out next month. Cinderella is Dead, and Katherine Center's new one, I think it's What You Wish For. But those are just a few of the ones that I'm definitely thinking in my head that I would like to get to. But there's so many books that I would love to get to. I think I have like 400 something books in my TBR shelf on Goodreads, so I will never run out of books ever again, ever. So that's going to wrap up this tag today, and I hope you guys super enjoyed. If you are a creator and you haven't done this tag yet, then I tag you, please do it. It's a super fun tag, and I really like doing it, and I hope you guys did too. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have an absolute wonderful day, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye!